Welcome back. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg began his testimony in one of the most highly anticipated trials in the tech world yesterday, the Federal Trade Commission's antitrust suit against the tech giant. Now, the FTC argues that Meta engaged in an illegal buy or bury strategy to maintain its dominance on social media. That basically means executives would allegedly try to buy small companies before they could become threats, for example, Instagram and WhatsApp, or it would bury competitors who refused offers like Snapchat and also Twitter. Apps also that could become threats, such as MessageMe, were also part of this. According to the lawsuit, it would do this by denying them access to Facebook's popular developer tools or services provided by acquired apps. Now, the FTC's suit includes internal emails from Facebook executives, including Zuckerberg, who cite alleged anti-competitive rationale for mergers with WhatsApp and Instagram. In a 2012 email, for example, about the company's desires to own WhatsApp, Zuckerberg wrote, quote, "I'm the most worried about messaging. WhatsApp is already ahead of us in messaging in the same way Instagram was ahead of us in photos." Now, the FTC then quotes Zuckerberg, adding in the email, quote, "I'd pay $1 billion for them if we could get them." Now, Meta disputes the FTC's arguments that it is an illegal monopoly. It says it competes with many more social media companies than the government claims it does. In a statement released Sunday, Meta's chief legal officer said, quote, "The evidence at trial will show that every 17-year-old in the world knows Instagram competes with TikTok and YouTube and X and many other apps." Now, Meta also claims that Instagram and WhatsApp have remained successful because of Facebook's investments in them. It says the FTC had a chance to object to these mergers over 10 years ago, but didn't. Now, as the federal government prepares to undertake this trial, Zuckerberg has visited President Trump multiple times since the 2024 election. Meta also made a corporate donation to Trump's inaugural fund. The Wall Street Journal reported that during an April 2nd meeting, Zuckerberg lobbied Trump to prevent this trial from moving forward. This case was originally brought by the FTC during Trump's first term before being picked up by the Biden administration. Now, joining us now to talk about all of this is attorney Kenneth Dintzer. He's a partner at Crowell Moring and the former senior trial counsel at the Justice Department's Antitrust Division. Good morning to you, joining us from Washington. So we've laid out the basics there, and CEO Mark Zuckerberg testified yesterday, focusing mostly on Facebook's efforts to build a rival photo app that could compete with Instagram. But what's your take on what he has to say and how he's positioning their case?
Thanks, Earl, and thanks for having me on this morning. He is still under cross-examination by the FTC. So at this point, the focus is the FTC is walking him through sort of the early days of Facebook's decision to acquire Instagram and to acquire WhatsApp. And the documents are instructive and important. They show an intent to acquire firms that they think might be competing with them.
And Meta says the FTC had a chance to object to these matters over 10 years ago, but didn't. Why was that, and how is that significant if it may be broken up now?
So as part of the process, when a big company acquires a smaller company, they have to file with the government and give them some information and give them an opportunity to challenge it. The government decided not to challenge either of those acquisitions at that time, but they don't make a promise for forever. So we've never seen a case quite like this where the FTC or DOJ wants to go back and break up a company that they chose not to challenge early on. At least we haven't seen one since the Standard Oil cases and the cases long ago that were sort of at the dawn of the antitrust era.
Yeah, but Standard Oil was eventually broken up, and I'm wondering if you see this case playing out the same way, or perhaps not, because both Republican and Democratic administrations have looked at this already and decided not to break Facebook up. And I don't want to leave out the detail of how much people in Silicon Valley and people from these companies donate to Congress and donate to politicians to get favorable outcomes.
So those donations fortunately don't go to the court. So the court will have the final say on the outcome here. The decision about whether to break them up sort of is down the road. The court has broken this trial up into two portions. There's liability, where they decide whether Facebook did the things that the FTC says that they did and whether they're a monopolist. And then if the FTC gets sort of back past the first round, they'll have another trial on the remedy. And so what we'll be looking at is not only can the FTC sort of win the first round, but how well they win it. The language that the judge uses in that decision will signal whether he's open to the idea of breaking up Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp.
So we're not close to an outcome just yet, but certainly something we will all continue to watch closely. Kenneth Dintzer, thanks for joining us this morning.